Beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Ever since the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, a lot of information have been flying here and there. But a man who have been in the shadows, who have known, there's always three sides to a story. We have your side, we also have my side, and we have the truth. Most often than not, most people don't get to hear the truth. They keep hearing one-sided story, either the side of the offender or the side of the defender, the victim, and all. But no one gets to hear the true picture. Yeah, you're going to get the untold story of Nnamdi Kanu and his meetings some 4 years ago, backdating it till now, what transpired and what may likely be going down. But before we do all this and much more, I'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you will see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, this was actually done by... Okay, let's continue with the news first. A lot of people believe this is written by... For quick understanding, this is written by the president, the founder, president, Igbo Youth Movement, and the person who wrote it is Chief Elliot Ugochukwu Uko. You're going to find written by Chief Elliot Ugochukwu Uko, the founder, president, Igbo Youth Movement. Now let's go to the untold story that most people out there do not know, including myself. Lots of people believe we all need to remember what happened exactly 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was approached by this, I'm quoting him now, by the writer. 4 years ago, I was approached by the Southeast Governors from Forum to arrange a meeting between Nnamdi Kanu and the Southeast Governors. I pleaded with them to grant me the concession to involve an Igbo elder. They agreed, and I invited Professor Ben Uwabweze. Sorry, I take that again. Uwabweze. And he accepted to lead us to the meeting. At the meeting, Nnamdi agreed that Nnamdi is Nnamdi Kanu right now. At the meeting, Nnamdi agreed that his demands for secession and election boycott were not absolute. In other words, that he and his group were amenable to negotiations as the dialogue progressed. In my sitting room before the meeting, Nnamdi and I had agreed that presenting the need for a wholesome reconstruction of the polity, a constitutional conference where Nigerians would sit down to agree on the way forward. A get-together that would draft the People's Agreement, probably anchored on power devolution, true federalism and resource control via a new constitution, affirmed that a referendum should be the group's position, a constitution that would give every section a sense of belonging. Nnamdi insisted on the 1963 constitution model. He was reluctant to quieten all agitation for 24 months. He was willing to concede between 6 and 12 months of peace and quiet to allow the federal government time to address the demand. This position was presented to the meeting. The Southeast governors agreed to take his demands to Abuja and get back at the next meeting, where Nnamdi will conclude the negotiations with his group. In my car, on our way home, I asked Nnamdi how he hoped to convince his group to flow with the national reconstruction agenda, just in case Abuja looks at it favorably. Nnamdi assured me that he had it all figured out. He believed he had to play the statesman for the sake of posterity. The Southeast governors demanded Nnamdi attended the follow-up meetings in a fortnight with his group's leadership. On the eve of the proposed second meeting, Nnamdi's residence was invaded. 4 years later, the federal government is upbeat the agitation will soon be crushed because Nnamdi is in their custody once again. Nnamdi's followers, driven by emotion and anger, believe they will cripple the economy and the country. This is serious. And have their way. Well, the truth may be a little different from the two extreme positions. 3 months ago, circumstances forced me out of my self-imposed silence to make certain interventions through my 155-point 20-series social media post titled "My People Are Destroyed for Lack of Knowledge." Disturbed by the possibility of a military invasion of the southeast that will not only destroy lives and infrastructure but also injure the economic life of the region, I made public certain truths that could stay in the hands of the authorities, thereby avoiding a bloodbath and massive destruction of the land. It is not true that Nnamdi's detention has or will bring the agitation to an end. The agitation has never been about an individual. It has rather always been about the suffocating unitary structure, the refusal to enthrone equity, fair play, and a level playing field for all. It is about the impunity, nepotism, and poor governance enabled by Military Decree 24 of 1999 in the 1999 Constitution. It has been about the lack of interest and loss of faith in the structure, format, and style of governance in the country, a system that not only encourages massive corruption but also makes it impossible for the established agencies to bring corrupt leaders to book, a system that rapidly grows unemployment, hamstrings state government, and overloads the central government with duties it is unable to perform, a system that has failed all round but is only sustained stubbornly and to the pleasure of the certain folks who believe that restructuring Nigeria may cost them their pre-eminent and dominant position in the country. 2. Deliberately woven false narrative that if Nnamdi is caged, then the agitation will die is actually unpatriotic and unhelpful. The agitation is fueled by the fear of external subjugation. Millions of young folks of my region are not willing to see their children go through the humiliation they experience in unitary Nigeria, where they have been reduced to permanent onlookers and spectators in a country Azikiwe and co labored and fought to build. The smart deception that the agitation is all about Nnamdi is actually designed and cleverly sustained by people who do not want the truth addressed and the issues resolved. The agitation, which began 22 years ago, has grown greatly and would have overrun the region, but had the agitators the good mind and needed skills to win over the elites of the region. Nevertheless, their near total support and sympathy from the masses of the region and very huge diaspora presence makes it unintelligent to write off the agitation. The masses are awoke. Intimidation has not worked, and earlier applied lethal force only deepened their anger. The governors of the region must show leadership now and engage Nnamdi Kanu immediately. They should engage and sound out Nnamdi Kanu, even in DSS custody, to work out an amicable and peaceful roadmap to closure and harmony. It is impossible to resolve the crisis without Nnamdi. Those who think otherwise are naive and unfamiliar with the structure of the agitators and their modus operandi. The earlier the Southeast governors visit Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS facility and begin talks with him, the better for the land. There is no other way. The importance of avoiding violent approach cannot be overemphasized. The issues that inspire the agitation must be addressed. The unhelpful and unhealthy structure of the country must be reconstructed. The nepotism, impunity, especially the brigandage of the murderous Fulani herdsmen must become issue of the past, and demonizing the agitators must be stopped. It is wrong to consistently attack and demonize much abused youngsters whose only sin is that they can no longer swallow the wicked humiliation meted on them by their fellow countrymen just because their parents lost the war in 1970. That you don't agree with their style does not make their cries for justice is invalid. Finally, it is not true that you can cure your malaria by addressing the symptoms only. You solve the sickness by treating the root cause of the disease. A. You run tests, identify malaria parasites, and address them with anti-malaria drugs. B. You cover your bed with treated mosquito net and sleep in it. And C. You clear and clean your drainage, get rid of stagnant water in your gutter, and disinfect your compound. Your malaria symptoms will only disappear once addressed from the root. We will never get it right by obstinately ignoring the root cause while gleefully attacking the symptoms. The desire to crush the agitation forcefully is wrong and will backfire. The agitators should be engaged without delay. Clerics and credible elders should be used. Time is of essence. This is actually written by Chief Elliot Ugochukwu Uko, the founder, president, Igbo Youth Movement, and this news is exclusive to Igbira TV News. Wow, this is long.